Hello everyone. In this session, we will be talking about the dimensions in Tableau. In data analysis and data visualization, a dimension is a categorical or a qualitative attribute used to group, categorize, or describe the data. Dimensions are a fundamental concept in the data modeling and analytics and are often constrained with the measures. Here are some of the key characteristics and points to understand about the dimensions. The first one is the categorical or the qualitative. Now, dimension consists of non-numerical qualitative data and they represent the categories, labels, or the descriptors that provide the context to your data. Examples of the dimensions can include the product categories, geographical regions, time periods, and customer segments. The second one could be the use for grouping example. Dimensions are primarily used to group the data and categorize the data. They provide the pie aspect of the data analysis. For example, when you group sales data by product categories, the product category is the dimension. The third one is the hierarchical. Dimensions can often have a hierarchical structure. For instance, time can be a dimension and it can be hierarchically structured into years, quarters, months, and days. Hierarchical dimensions enable drilling down data into some more detailed analysis. The next one is the discrete values. Dimension values are distinct and separate from each other. They don't have a natural order or mathematical operation associated with them. You can't perform mathematical calculations like addition or subtraction directly on the dimension values. Then it can be used on the axis. In data visualization, dimensions are typically used on the categorical axis, such as the x-axis or the y-axis. And it is used to organize and label data points. For example, a bar chart might have products that is a dimension on the x-axis and the sales, which is a measure that can be on the y-axis. Now, what is the measure? We'll be talking about it in the upcoming session. Then there is filters and slicers. Dimensions are commonly used as a filter or slicer in data analysis and visualization tools. They allow users to select specific categories or subset of data for closer examination. Then the last one is combining with measures. Now, what are measures? We will be talking about it in the upcoming session, but dimensions are often combined with measures, that is the quantitative data, to create meaningful visualizations and insights. Measures such as sales revenue or profit are typically displayed and analyzed with respect to dimensions. Now, let's go to the Tableau screen and see the different kind of dimensions present in the data set that we are working on. So we are in our Tableau screen where we are working with our data set, which is known as orders. That is the global superstore data set. Orders is a sheet inside this global superstore data set. Now, whenever you are loading this data set, it has now been divided into two parts. Over here on the left hand side, you can see the columns are now categorized into two values. The first one is the dimensions over here. The second one would be the measure. Now, what are the measures exactly? We will be talking it in the next session. So these are all the dimensions, and dimensions consist of the categorical values which can be seen over here. For example, my data set contains this category value. And as you can see, there is this data type also that is listed just ahead of the dimensions. So these can be either these categorical values or these geographical values as well. Whenever we are talking about these kind of values, these would be coming in the dimensions part. Now we'll be talking about these dimensions one by one that are present in our data set and how we will be working on the top of it. So the first one is the categories option that is present. If I double click on it, you can see there are three kind of categories that are present in my data set. The first one is the furniture, the second is the office supplies, and the technology is the third one. So since this is a global superstore data, they are selling three kind of categorical items: furniture, office supplies, and technology. Based on these categories, there are multiple orders, and we can find it that there are multiple cities in which they operate. So all these data is present in the city, and these cities belong to some country, which I can find over here. This is the geographical data. That's why the sign of a globe is present just ahead of it. Then we have the customer ID. Whenever a customer is enrolling or subscribing to our website, it is producing some customer ID, which is unique for every customer that is given in this customer ID column. So if I double click on customer ID, you can see there is customer ID for every customer that has purchased from the website. Then the next one is the customer name. If I double click on this customer name, you can see that a name is assigned with this specific customer ID. Now, two people can have the same kind of name, but the customer ID cannot be same for every person. That's why this would be able to distinguish between different customers that are present. As you can also see an example, here are few customers whose name are repeating, but the customer ID is different. So for every unique customer, there would be a new customer ID. Now, the next one is the market. The market region specifically contains the markets of Africa, APAC region, Canada, EMEA, EU, LATAM, and US. This would be able to help us when we are analyzing the sales or profit trend in the different kind of market. Then we have the order date. Now this is a date type data type, and you can then bifurcate it into various parts. For example, if I want to double click on this date, here it would show me the year wise data. Now, if you want to drill down through it, what you can do is you can see there is a plus icon given. If you click on it, then it would come as quarter wise. If I again click on the plus icon, then it would be showing me month wise. And you can drill down even more further. So if I click on it again, it would show me. And if you want to minimize it, you can click on the minus icon and then it would drill up. So this is the way in which you can work with the date type data type. If you have any order date or shipping date kind of values in your data set or any values which has the date type data, you can do the drill through operation with the help of this. Then the next dimension that is present in our data set is the order ID. There is a specific order ID which has generated whenever a customer is placing order. Then the next one is the order priority. So based on the priority of order, how is the shipping done is shown with the help of this particular dimension. If it is a critical, then it would be shipped earlier. If it is a low priority, then it would be shipped later. Then the next one is the postal code. Again, this postal code is a geographic data type. So you can see the globe is given over here. Then I have the product ID, which specifies what is the ID of the product that has been sold, the product name that has been sold, the region in which the product has been sold. Now, these regions are present inside each market. And if you want to see it, what you can do is you can drag this market just ahead of this region. As you can see, the market is given, and then inside this, there are multiple regions. So these are some kind of experiments you can do it with the help of your data, and you can see what is the data trying to explain you. And these are the kind of hierarchies when we are talking about the dimensions. So I've already explained you that it can create hierarchies. So these are the kind of hierarchies it can create. There is this region inside of the market. So the region inside of the market, then we would be going to the row ID. This row ID is basically defining the each order that has been placed, and it is just defining the row ID. Then we have the segment. The different kind of segments that are present in our data set is the consumer segment, corporate segment, and the home office. So whoever is placing an order, is it a consumer? Does he or she belong from a corporate, or is it a home office section that the order has been placed from? Then there is a shipping date. Now, the order data and shipping data are very important for us when we are talking about the date type, because see, whenever an order is placed, sometimes it is shipped on the same day, sometimes it can be shipped after few days when the order has been placed. So the shipping date would be always greater than the order date. But if you want to find why is this order taking a lot of time, or if order is even taking a lot of time or not, you can perform the operations on the top of shipping date and order date, and you can find the results to it. So these date data types would help us a lot when we are doing these kind of analysis. Then we have the shipping mode. So what is the mode of shipping whenever we are shipping the order? Is it the first class, same day, second class, or standard class delivery? So obviously the same day delivery would be the fastest. The first class would be also a priority based. The standard class would be a low priority based shipping. Then we have the state, which is again a geographical data type, and this would be in between the country and the city. So the first one would be the country, which would be comprising all the states. Then we would be having the cities inside the states. Then we have the subcategory. We have already looked at the categories that are present over here, and there were multiple categories. So as you can see, there are three categories: furniture, office supplies, and technology. And if I talk about these subcategories, again, you can see it is trying to create a hierarchy. So furniture consists of bookcase, chairs, furnishing, and tables inside it. And same is happening with the office supplies and technology. They are also having multiple subcategories inside them. So they are trying to create some hierarchies over here. So above this line, whatever values are present, these all are dimensions. And we can use it to create some categorical kind of data analysis. So whenever you are doing categorical analysis, you can use these dimensions along with these measures present over here. Now, what are the measures? We'll be talking about it in the next session.